Hi guys, welcome. Danny here from the Magic Junk Drawer. And I just quickly wanted to go over, I don't know if I can go quickly, my spiritual journey, because it's been quite a journey, or how I've ended up at this place. And I don't know, this is just up until this point. God knows where it's going to lead me. So I was born Catholic. My parents were Italian Catholics, and we were Catholic just about as much as you made your baptism because that's what you did, because your parents took you to the church. We weren't very religious. A lot of the religious things I didn't even really know about until like other Catholics were doing them. Um, but for some reason, I had a very strong calling to spirituality. So, being that I was Catholic, that's what I first tried to follow. And when I was growing up, my friends would make fun of me. I didn't care. When you're a kid, you don't really care. They would make fun of me because if I saw a dead animal like a dead squirrel, I would always sit down next to it and pray, "Dear God, please take this squirrel with you up to heaven." And I was always optimistic, and I always thought that no matter how good you were, you couldn't be good enough. Always be a better person because you will be rewarded. You're going to be rewarded for being a good person. Okay, that was my first mistake. No, I shouldn't say that. But growing up, like once you get into high school and college, I mean, I had friends, and I was just telling this story to somebody today that in high school, these people stole like nobody's business. Like I had one friend, I could go to the mall with her and be standing next to her, and then we could get outside and she would have like shit jammed in everywhere. And I didn't see her do it. I have no idea how she did it. I had a friend, I mean, she stole everything from her employers to her parents. I mean, these people knew how to steal. I never stole a thing because I thought God sees everything. You're going to be punished. It's not the right thing to do. You don't need it. You go to work, you earn your money, you can pay for it, whatever. So I think that my first huge letdown, and this is just my opinion, I don't want to offend anyone. When I was in high school, a couple of my friends wandered into a church and we stumbled across the novena, which is a prayer that you say for 9 days and you have a request. It's usually to St. Jude or maybe to St. Rita, some kind of an impossible cause. So my one friend and I wanted to do it, but we didn't have the prayer, and we didn't want to take somebody else's prayer out of the church because we thought, oh, we can't do that. That's bad. Now, the third girl that we were with, she's like, well, you know what? I don't really believe. I'll take it. So she took the prayer. But looking back on it, I would think it's a universal thing. Like if somebody brought that into the church and then we walked in there and we picked it up, it was something that was put there because we needed it. And somebody put it there because somebody was going to come in and need it. Anyway, we said the novena and our prayer was not answered. Or I know people will say it was answered, it just wasn't the way you liked it, and blah, blah, blah. But anyway, this was the first letdown. So after that, and the whole time, like I was always studying astrology, and I always thought, well, the astrology made a little bit more sense to me, only because I felt like there was a reason for it. Like, well, if you're going through a really shitty time right now, that's because Mars and Uranus are squaring off and it's causing turmoil in all your relationships. Once this passes, you'll move on and things will be good again. Now, I don't want to say I turned my back on Christianity because I didn't. And I still kind of believe in some of the things. And I'll still sometimes say a prayer to St. Rita or St. Jude or whoever because I think that that's cool too. But I wanted something that I don't know, I was interested in something more. So it was around this time I started researching paganism and Wicca and the old ritualisticness of it. I really loved, because I thought, oh my God, this is so old. It's been around for so many centuries, and I did some things. And then you know how it is when it comes to spiritual things, and it may be like this for a lot of people too, with like eating healthy and exercise habits. Sometimes we do it a lot and we do it really well, and then other times we're like, whatever. So I kind of went in and out of my phases. I did little things like I would wear a crystal, and then I would take it off and I would forget about it. And then I would wear a crystal again, and I would take it off and forget about it, and whatever. And after that, I think I started moving into Kabbalah, which I really got a lot out of in the beginning. Like, it really was making sense. I was reading reading Hebrew. I didn't understand Hebrew, but the rabbi said that I didn't need to understand it on a conscious level. My subconscious and my soul understood it. So that was enough for me. I was like, okay, whatever, I buy it. And it was another religion that was very ritualistic. I lit the candles on Hanukkah, and Passover was a little bit tough for me because I'm a very picky eater, and I remember it being really difficult for me to find things that were vegetarian and also didn't have yeast in them, right? You couldn't have anything with yeast in it. I don't know, whatever. I remember eating a lot of matzah, but I got through it. And I couldn't have the matzo ball soup because it was made with chicken. And as a vegetarian, I couldn't have that. So I remember that being kind of tough. And then around this point, I started doing these soul journeys that were Native American in Arizona with an awesome shaman who, we had the best time out in Arizona, me and one of my friends. We did it about 3 or 4 years in a row. And while I was out there on one of the soul journeys, I had a phone session with the rabbi, and he wanted me to make a donation. And it was the kind of thing where every time I spoke to him, he wasn't looking to sell me something. He wasn't always looking for a donation, and he wasn't always looking for me to buy something. But sometimes he would suggest a book. I don't think I spent all that much money, and he did a lot of prayers with me, like when I hung the mezuzah, that's what it's called, in the door jamb. I still have it. Maybe I'll show it to you. Excuse my dog. He's chewing on his bone. He's hacking. He used to do the red string prayers with me. Me and my friend would do it, and he would be on the phone with us. So I didn't feel like he was out and out shystering me at all. I didn't feel that. And I was following this for a good amount of time. But then what he wanted was, he wanted me to make a donation of, let me get this right, it was $1,300, which I would have done. $1,300. I was working 2 jobs like an animal. I would have come up with the $1,300. But he wanted me to donate $1,300 to 18 families, which was like $25,000. And I was like, well, I don't have that. And he was like, yeah, well, I know that you don't have that. And that's why it would be elevating your soul to the next level, because it's an amount of money that you don't have. So for you to be able to do without it, or to come up with it, would be extraordinary. And it would push your soul to the next level. Well, it was right about here that I signed out of the Kabbalah. But I don't want to say anything too negative, because I took that. When you give to somebody, when you don't have it, it puts your soul to the next level, or it does something for your soul. I took that as a teaching, and I always think of that now. So when somebody needs something and it's hard for me to give, if I can give something, I feel like it's better for everybody. Even if it's only $5, maybe it's all I can give, but I feel like it's karmically, or I just feel like it's a good thing. So I think that I took what he meant and I put it in its place, and then that was it. I stopped following Kabbalah. He kept also talking a lot about Madonna and how much money she donated, and in case anyone didn't notice, I'm not Madonna. I mean, I understand, look, they're an organized religion, no matter what it is, or and organize anything. It needs money to run. They have to make money, otherwise they can't they can't keep up with their teachings. I understood that. So I'm not saying anything bad, but that was just $25,000. I mean, I was working 2 jobs, barely scraping by myself. So that was the end of that. And then I kind of went back into paganism a little bit. So now this is where I am now, like back to kind of like being an eclectic witch. I guess that's what they call it, because I don't really follow a specific path. I don't like to wish people harm, but I'm telling you that I'm getting a little bit to the point of getting tired of being kicked in the gut. So if you kick me in the gut and I don't know, an anvil falls on you, sorry. No, I'm only kidding. Kind of. So anyway, so this is kind of where we are right now, where I like the idea of lighting candles because I feel like it puts the energy. This candle is just for the mood. There's nothing really, nothing special. It's not a special spell. But sometimes I feel like I don't need to go anywhere organized. I could just do it myself. Like, your own spirituality is what's in you, and you discuss it with the people that you're close with or whatever, and you do what works for you. So anyway, any comments or whatever, feel free to comment below. Please excuse Dylan, but you're probably going to meet him tomorrow. I may make a video of him. All right, talk to you guys soon. Bye.